Mackey is the CEO of Black Haven Studio. He's got a harp, he's a author, he's many things. He's a creative, he's a philanthropist, it's just loaded. So, but just before I start with Mackey, I just want you to give a 1 minute kind of like, I won't call it introduction. I would say what you need to know about me that you don't know yet. Go ahead, Mackey.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mackey. I'm the founder and creator of Black Haven Studio, which is kind of a sister company of a bigger company called Black Spades, which is a lifestyle brand here in the U.S. And I also am the CEO of a creative agency called Dope Art Media, where we do video production, graphic design, social media strategy, you name it. We pretty much do it, and we've done it. We've worked with a lot of huge clients like Amazon, Google, Twitter, Mercedes, Toyota, Hennessy, Remy Martin, just the list goes on and on. I've written 3 books, and like you were saying, I also am a philanthropist, so I do a lot of work in the community as well.
Most especially for the amazing works that you do with Black women in the US. We're so proud of you. I'm going to start this fireside chat with one of your statements. And that has to do with what you do. And this year in our organization, it's our year of leading. Everything we've been learning, we've been teaching, we've been reading, we've been practicalizing is leadership, because we want to lead in every aspect of our year. And one of the things you said was a lifestyle brand for top brands. My question, Mackey, my first question would be, what is the lifestyle brand of a leader? What does it look like for you? You've done big brands, work with big brands, but these are leaders, founders in the room. These are future leaders in the room. What is the lifestyle brand that they should be kind of like working towards, or even planning towards, or even currently living as we speak? My brother, the mic is yours.
Yeah, I think one of my main sayings that I always say, I literally just posted it to Threads like right before this call, was that the world needs what you have to offer. So I think that the most important thing that you can know within yourself as a founder, as a leader, as an entrepreneur, is that the work that you do, the thing that you create, the thing that you feel passionate about, the world needs it. You know, don't be discouraged by like hard times. Don't be discouraged by setbacks or hurdles. And just understand that if this is the thing that has been put on your heart, it was put there for a reason. And more than likely, the world needs it. We need what it is that you create. So I think if you have that at the core of who you are, if that's your guiding light, that what I am doing has a purpose and there's a need for it, I think that the lifestyle part of it just kind of comes naturally, because it starts to show in everything that you do. You know what I mean? You make it a way of life because it's important to you, because you understand the importance of what it is that you're creating to everybody else.
Thank you very, very much, because you answered it in a very different way. And actually, I must say, in a beautiful way. In this case, there's nothing as powerful as something that comes naturally. Not something that you're trying to fake, not something that you're trying to force. And the only way this can come naturally is you understanding that what you have to offer, the world needs it. If you are a preacher and you know the world needs a preacher, then you start behaving and talking like a preacher. If you are a sport person and you know the world needs a sport person, you start behaving like that. If you are a leader and you know your continent, your country, your council, your municipality needs a leader, you start acting like one. Mackey, thank you so much.
Right. And I also want to draw the distinction between comes naturally does not necessarily mean comes easily. So don't think that because the thing that you have on your heart, don't think that the thing that that you are passionate about is supposed to be easy all the time. The thing that comes naturally to you does not necessarily mean that just everything is going to be laid out. Sometimes it's a challenge. Sometimes it's a sacrifice. But you just have to understand that that thing is that thing for you for a reason. So I just want to make sure that nobody's thinking that it's supposed to be easy all the time, because it's not.
That's a very, very important point. The fact that it comes naturally doesn't make it easy. and that's important that you actually said that. Thank you so much, Mackey. Now let's also move up a little bit to looking at the brands you've worked with. Amazon, Google, Mercedes-Benz. These are massive brands. What is unique? What is something that you can see that is kind of like constant amongst these brands, and that you find that most young entrepreneurs or most starting entrepreneurs lack? My brother, you want to dive into that?
I'm not gonna say that it's something that people lack, but I think that it's something that people don't consider, right? You hear Google, you hear Twitter, you hear Amazon, you hear Mercedes, and you think it's this big, huge thing. But the thing that you have to realize is that it's nothing. It's people. You know what I mean? People work at these places and people have needs. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying about the world needs what you have to offer, right? I was doing this stuff by myself. I didn't have like a team of 20 people. It was me. And they called me because a person at each organization recognized something that I brought to the table, recognized something of value that I could create. And they said, hey, we need you here. We need your expertise here. And so the thing that I want y'all to know or to understand is that who you are right now most likely is enough to work with these brands, because it's not this big global thing. It's just a person. And a lot of times the relationships will get you inside the door. So, I think that's the biggest thing that I could say, is because when you're starting out, a lot of times you might hear, I don't know if this is saying there, but here in the US, there's a saying that people say it's called imposter syndrome. I don't believe in imposter syndrome personally. I don't believe in that. But a lot of people do, you know what I mean? And so people think that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. And I'm just here to tell you that if you're in the room, you're there because you're supposed to be. Nobody's in the room that's not supposed to be there. Nobody gets invited that's not supposed to be there. So when you get these opportunities, or when you're seeking out to get these opportunities, don't think that something is too big for you. That doesn't exist. This is a world filled with people. People wake up in the middle of the night and stub their toe on the way to the bathroom. You know what I mean? People catch colds. People get sick. We're all just people. So don't ever think of these things as too big to attain or too big to work with. Become an expert in your field. Do what it is that you know how to do, and then provide the service.
Honestly, I don't know how to say this right now, but I'm impressed. I'm so impressed, and I'm so impressed that you kind of like unveiled what could be like you said, what people are not paying attention to. And it's so real, because you look at those big firms, you look at a big corporation, and you think probably it's angels that are behind it, or machines that are behind it, forgetting that people created those brands. People work consistently, professionally, and with the spirit of excellence to create those institutions. People created, those technologies. People are the ones going to mass. I was speaking to somebody recently, my brother, and we're trying to crack a code, you know what I'm saying? And the conversation was getting so hectic. I'm like, you know what, chill, bro. What's wrong with you? Our mates are going to the moon.
Right.
The moment I said that to him, it's like his mind opened. It's like, yeah, man, let's break this code right now. And the moment that awakening come, we just looked at what we are discussing, and we just shoved it like that.
Right.
That was we came to the realization that people are so powerful, and you are one of them.
Right.
You are one of them, and that's what Mackey just said, that your talent, your skill, bring it to the table. It's what they see in Mackey, that big brands came for him. They didn't even come for the firm. They came for him. So become the best version of yourself, and you would create global institutions. You know what? Thank you so much, my brother. I'm sure some people want to drop some hearts right there and tell you we love you already, just as we start into this conversation. Now,
and if I can add on that before we move on, I also want to let you know that you don't have to be the best. You don't have to be. There's several people that are better than me that didn't get the opportunity that I got. It's not about being the best. A lot of times it's about being seen. A lot of times it's about being the person with the relationship. You know what I mean? So don't think that because you're just starting out or you haven't got these opportunities before that you can't get it. Don't think that because there's somebody out there that's better than you. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. All you have to do when you work, when you do work or you provide a service for somebody, you only need to be better than your client. You know what I mean? So as long as you can do something that your client can't do, then that's all that matters. It doesn't matter about who else is better or anything like that. So I think the message that I really want to get across is that you are enough, that you have something of value, and that you should put it out there fearlessly.
How much you love the Entrepreneurs Assembly, honestly. How much that I can get to a place on a Saturday evening, my time, and I can just be liberated by just one statement. You touched me right now, brother. I know you've touched everyone, but right now you touched one line. All you gotta do is be better than your client.
Right. You just have to know more than your client. That's it. Because your client is the problem. They just need the problem solved. That's it. And if they could have solved it, they would have done it themselves. But when they come to you, as long as you can solve that problem, that's all that matters. So people being better than you, people having more resources than you, it doesn't matter. Can you solve the problem? That's the key.
And one of the powerful thing you said there, it crossed across broad. I want you see my work here is to elaborate on your words. Now, the fireside chat is I light the fire, it starts burning you, and as you are burning, I put in more flames to get the fire burned.
Right.
Now, let me just do that so that people can get to understand the meaning of what you just said. You got to be better than the client. You got to be better than your employer. You got to be better than anywhere, the sport. Like, just be better than that person that engages you. And that's all that matters. And you know, I struggle sometimes when I'm seeing somebody, probably you are engaged, you're working in a company, and at the same time you're realizing that the person that employed you is better than you. Question yourself. They could be better than you, about the company, but the area where you have been engaged, you have to be better than them. So if you are the customer service of a company, I tell you, your principal should never speak better than you when you speak on the phone. If you are the sales consultant, your principal should never sell better than you. If you are the graphics, it goes across board. Thank you so much for that. But that's not what I got from what you said. That's not all I got. I got something else. And it's I think I'm going to make it
another. While you think about that, it's not just so you want to think about two things, right? When you have a client, ultimately you want to solve the problem, but you just need to know more than your client, or you need to alleviate something from your client, like make it easier for your client, right? So let's say you have a cleaning service. Anybody can clean a house, anybody can sweep a floor, anybody can mop a floor. But sometimes people will hire you to do that service because you've alleviated something for them. You save time for them. So as long as you know more than your client, and as long as you can provide a service that is beneficial to them, that's all that really matters. People pay for convenience, and people pay other people when they don't have a solution to the problem. So if you can solve one, two, or both of those problems, then you'll always be good. Oh, and then the third thing I found, if you can create something that makes other people money, you will always make money. Because if people depend on you to make money, you'll never be out of a job. So three keys that'll always make you successful in business.
I'm sure somebody's in this room listening to this right now. And if you just missed out on that line, I'll generously repeat it for you. If you make money for other people, you will always make money. That's one of the most important ways to stay relevant in your business, even in your company, even with your employer. Check, am I really making money for them? Because once you do, then you are a key player. Now, that point that I said, I'm going to make it a topic, because I speak at the first week every Saturday, the first Saturday of every month, and I come up with my topics. And one of the topics I'm going to speak about came from what he just said. 2 words. It came out of your mouth, Mackey, and it's 2 words. Oh my God, I need to elaborate on those 2 words. Being seen. That's the topic that I'm going to speak on one of these months. Mackey, people do not get to understand how powerful being seen is. You cannot lead if you are not seen. We get into Zoom meetings like this, and sometimes I tell people, try and switch on your camera. It's only 60 minutes. That money you are investing what is it, data or time, without being seen, you are losing a lot. In the room, gone are the days where people keep quiet. People come out to be seen. Ignorant people get leadership opportunities because they are being seen. Now, I wanted to touch a bit on that because sometimes people do not understand the power, the magnitude of being seen, either being seen on social media, being seen in the room, being seen at workplace, being seen in the corporate environment, being seen by speaking out. Mackey, we see you. Tell us about being seen.
Well, I mean, what I was saying about being seen is like, if people, it doesn't matter if you're the best at what you do if nobody knows it. You know what I mean? So, and in addition, it doesn't matter if someone else, if your competition is the best at what they do, if nobody knows them. So at the end of the day, you know, the things that you bring to the table, who you are, the value that you can contribute counts for naught if nobody knows, you know. So that goes from marketing. Your business needs to be marketed. That goes from you going out and building relationships. If you're not out networking and building relationships with people, nobody's gonna know. So you can't hide behind your computer screen all the time. You kind of got to get out there and let people know what it is that you do.
Wow, thank you very, very much. Yes, we're having a fireside chat where we get to learn and extract wisdom from those that has gone ahead of us. And today, like I said, I'm Mackey. Follow him on social media, on LinkedIn. Everything is going to be dropped at the end of this session. Get a copy of his books. A lot of those information will also be dropped and will be emailed to the community, and so that we can get a connect with pure wisdom and experience. Now, Mackey, I want to touch on something now. You spoke about ego in one of your videos, where you also spoke about the negative effect of it. I love when you compared it to confidence, because a lot of people make that mistake.
How to do this? So right here with Black Haven Studio. So Black Haven Studio is a tech company essentially, right? And we're working on an app. I am non-technical. I don't know how to write code. I don't know any of that. I know how to lead the business. So what I have to do is defer to people that know more than me. I have to hire people that are smarter than me so that they can lead. When it comes to Black Spades, like I said, is a lifestyle brand. So what we're most known for here are playing cards, right? So in America, it's a game called Spades. It's very, very big in Black culture. It's very big in Black American culture, right? And so with Spades, when I created this, even though I'm a designer, I didn't try to design the decks, right? I sat there and I designed for like a couple weeks, and I was like, this is stupid. There's somebody that's better than me that designs playing cards every day. I just need to hire a designer to do that. I hired somebody to design the boxes. Then I said, you know what? It doesn't make sense. I need to find somebody to design the faces. And I found somebody else to design the faces. In that sense, even though I'm a designer, even though people pay me to design, I knew that I wasn't the most appropriate person to design for this particular thing. So I had to put myself in the back burner and just say, hey, is somebody better than me at this? So I think that when you understand that ego is not your friend at all, then it makes it easier for you to get into a position where you can confidently say, hey, this is my area of expertise. This is what I know. The rest of this, I don't. So let me find somebody better than me, and your company will be better for it.
Wow, amazing stuff. Thank you so much. I just remembered a conversation I was having with my chief of staff, I think about 2 days ago. And I said to him, like currently, Chairman Dan, it's interesting to know the way I behave currently. I need to tell you, I act like I know nothing to know something.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I behave currently. Like, especially in the, yes, what started this conversation is that for me to get the best of AI, I act like I know nothing. So what I'm trying to do is I want to outsmart AI. I am trying to use emotional intelligence and get the best of artificial intelligence. And then I'm a beast of both. Right. Because by the time I only have my emotional intelligence and the machine is still learning faster than me, it's going to outsmart me one way on the other side. So somehow I'm acting as a fool just to be smart. So guys, with ego, sometimes you got to, in this leadership journey, you got to be teachable. You coming here every Saturday is you dropping your ego. You being consistent to say, I want to be here. I don't care who is around. I don't care how many people is there. I just want to be there. Is you succumbing to that ego of saying, I want to learn. I don't know more than anybody. I see a new guest is in. Mackey is going to say something. Mackey has said one line that has liberated me today. And that's all I'm taking out of this. I've gotten my own word for today. And I know one of you, all of you, some of you has gotten one word to take. Learning is humility. And the best way to get to that top, of course, is how much you know from the right source. So thank you so much, Mackey, for making us understand that ego is not our friend. Yes, as we begin to wind down this Fireside session, I always go into what I call the FRA, F-R-A. It's a 3-in-1 question where I get to ask you at once, and then you can give us the 3-in-1 answers all at once. Now, okay. FRA simply stands for feedback, recommendation, and advice. Feedback, recommendation, and advice. And how does it flow? First, you give us your feedback on the community, what we're doing here, or what you see being a visionary leader yourself about a movement like this. So we get your feedback because, of course, it's good for us, for our journey. The second thing is you give us your recommendation, be it a software, a app, a book, a movie, or a statement or a quote that changed your entrepreneurial journey that we can use as entrepreneurs. It could even be a song, whatever recommendation you want to recommend to us. And the last one is to give us your advice. What would be your closing advice in this conversation, where you get your freestyle and pour yourself with every element you would like to touch on today? For this entire first session, you've got about 5 minutes to yourself. Once again, your feedback, your recommendation, and your advice. The mic is yours.
Okay. My feedback. So my feedback about the community here, is that what you're saying?
That's right.
Okay, so my feedback, I'm looking at the screen right now and I'm seeing it's like 3 pages of people here. Like, this is beautiful. Like, this is beautiful. The fact that you all showed up for yourself, the fact that you all said, hey, there's something that I can learn, there's a way that I can grow. I think that that's beautiful. So my feedback is to continue doing what it is that you're doing. I wish I knew what it was that each of you did, and I wish I knew if it was a way that I could support you. But feedback is, I just think that this is beautiful. This is like such a beautiful community, like really. My recommendation, a recommendation. I think the one thing that I can recommend is to always be learning and always be curious. I don't really watch much TV. I'm pretty much always on YouTube learning something. So either it's a documentary that I'm watching or something that I'm studying to better or become more versed in what it is that I do. And then as I learn that stuff, I try to share it. So always share the information as well. So if you know something, if you have a resource, if you have a relationship that can support the next person, even if it doesn't do anything for you, pour into the pot, because that energy cycles, you know. The energy that you put out is the energy that you get back. So always be trying to learn something. Once you learn something, share it. Share your resources, share your relationships, share your connections. If it's a book that I could recommend, it's called Mastery, and it's by Robert Greene. Robert Greene is the same person that wrote the 48 Laws of Power and a few other books. But Mastery is a book that we had to read in my master's program, and I think if you read it, it'll help shape you as an individual and as a leader. And what was the last thing? I'm sorry.
The closing advice.
Oh, well, I guess the advice kind of went, that kind of went in my second thing. Advice, I guess, would just be to go back to what I was saying at the beginning, which is that the world needs what you have to offer. Like, don't let anybody take that away from you. Like, the world needs what you have to offer. Please put it out there. And by the world, don't be fooled by the word world, thinking that it has to be millions and millions of people. World could be the person next to you, and that person next to you could be inspired by something that you did or something that you created, and then they inspire 20 people, and then somebody in that 20 people goes out to inspire 2,000 people, and somebody in that 2,000 people goes on in to inspire the world. But that world thing would never have happened if you didn't inspire the person next to you. So the world needs what you have to offer. Please don't give up on your vision. Don't give up on your dream, no matter how difficult it gets. If it is in your heart, if it is burning, create that thing, build that thing, fight for that thing.
Wow, thank you very much, Mackey, a founder of Black Event Studios, CEO of Black Spades. Thank you so much for very, very rooted wisdom that you've shared with us here today. I'm really, really impressed. You know, you touched on many things, you know, and there's just many things to go back to. I've got my notes here. My notes are full already, and there's just so many things to just touch on, you know. Making us understand that behind those big brands, those big institutions are people. If people created that, you can create bigger stuff. Making us understand that the world needs us. And what I love about, even how you even broke it in your closing advice, is the world could be one person, and that one person can change the world. One of the take-homes and nuggets is always remember that being seen is important, the right networks is important. Remember that when you make money for people, you will always be relevant. So whatever business model that you have, remember to make money, find a way that people are rewarded. And you know, if you are also making money for your company, you are also relevant. Remember this, that your boss is your first client. That is powerful. That is powerful. And beyond your boss, your husband is your first customer. Your wife is your first customer. Your children are your first clients. In leadership, your friend is a customer. Let everybody begin to feed on your brand as if it's a product.